If this is your first flower club, great having you. If you've been here before, you know the drill. What's in the box? We've got the Banksia, we've got Thryp, we've got green Leucadendrons, or you might be lucky and have a different color in your box this week, and Eucalyptus. Fun fact, we actually sell this individually on the website as like a shower immersive experience. You can hang some of this in your shower, have a hot steamy shower, and it helps to clear your sinuses. So use the leftovers if you have any. Yay, how fun. So the focal flower in today's Flower Club box is the Banksia. Banksias are extremely important because during extreme heat or fire, they release seeds that help the revegetation of the area that they're grown in. These are Leucadendrons, they're part of the Protea family. And when we call these natives, these are natives to Africa, not Australia. We love a Leucadendron. They're so long lasting, they can last for weeks in the vase. I love Thryp. It's just such a beautiful, kind of like a foliage, and it's got these beautiful tiny little miniature flowers, so it sort of serves the purpose of flower and foliage. I love it. It's part of the myrtle family and it is native to Australia. Our feedback from Flower Club members is that the flowers are super fresh, they're lasting such a long time, and you guys won't be disappointed in this collection of flowers. They all are very, very, very long lasting. I recommend keeping your bouquet or your vase arrangement in the laundry overnight or the bathroom, because that's typically coldest rooms in the house. This is a little preview of what we're going to make today. It's very native, very zen, very neutral. We love it. Some of you, this will be your 4th Flower Club subscription box. We have really loved seeing your creations that you're making at home. It's really interesting for me to see how you're styling them from like just a creative point of view. So please don't forget to tag us, Vegan Bloom, and show us what you guys make so we can share it with everyone, all of our Flower Club subscribers, and you might be able to get some inspiration from other people's designs, because they don't all look like this. Like, they just really look really interesting. So I love seeing them. I know the other Flower Club subscribers love seeing them too. Our focal flower is the most impressive flower within the design. The Banksia today has that main character energy. So this is our focal flower today, the Banksia. You might want to use a cloth, or you can just use your hand to strip away any foliage which is going to be in the water, because you don't want any foliage in your water. Remember, any foliage that is in the water is going to have a little bit of like bacteria in it, and the more bacteria in your water, the shorter the lifespan of your vase arrangement. Today, as you can see, I'm designing into our trusty white ceramic vase, which you would have all got in your first Flower Club delivery box. If your vase is glass that you're working in, just be mindful that the eucalyptus gum turn your water a little bit yellow. Looks a bit yucky, but just don't forget, the best way to resolve that is just change your water every day or every second day, or use a white ceramic vase, be none the wiser. The eucalyptus gum is a little bit sticky, just naturally it's got a little bit of sap in it, so you can use a cloth to prep your stems and take off all the foliage so your stems are nice and clean of any foliage before you put them in the vase, and you'll smell that beautiful eucalyptus fragrance. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the gum. Use your best judgment as to how much eucalyptus you put in your vase. I'm going to put about that much in there. I might choose a little bit to add a little bit more as we go, but I think about that much is going to be fine. Great, so the first flower we're going to use in our vase, once we put the gum in, is Thryp. So Thryp we're going to be positioning, I would say, towards the back. So what I'm going to be doing with the Thryp is I'm going to be putting the Thryp in the back, towards the back of the vase, and I'm going to fill the whole space. Usually, as you know, if it's not your first rodeo, you know I like asymmetry. We will be using asymmetry, don't worry, but the Thryp is going to cover the whole back area of this vase. So as you can see, I've sort of started over here, put this little bit in the center, and then I'm just going to fill right through the vase. So as with all of the flowers, make sure you trim off the lower foliage and the lower stems to create a really clean stem to sit into your vase, and take the time with the Thryp to do this. Like, they're quite bushy stems. So you're going to have to take a little bit longer with this particular variety to create a clean stem. Take your time, it's worth it. Then as you can see, that gorgeous thrip is coming into the vase, and we're really creating a lot of height by adding thrip into the vase at this point. The eucalyptus that we're using, it's finding its fullness by going left, right, and all over the place. So with your gorgeous Leucadendron, remove any foliage that might be going to touch the water level in the vase. Okay, so once you've got your beautiful eucalyptus gum in the vase and your thrip is where you want it to be, I'm going to put mine on the left hand side, so I'm going to put it sort of here. There's a little bit of a gap there for it. First stem that I put in, I'm going to really utilize the height, make that nice and really tall. The next stem I'm going to put in is going to be medium, and the next stem I'm going to put in is going to be a little bit shorter. That Leucadendron has a little bit of variegated color. As you can see, there's sort of some red tips on that. That is actually going to be the shortest stem that I use, and use it as a little bit of a like secondary focal flower. And as you guys might remember me saying, as one flower finishes, another flower starts. So when we talk about Leucadendrons, that is the flower, I would say. So if that's the bottom of the flower, this next stem is going to sort of sit there, if that makes sense. So I'm going to chop it down accordingly and place it in there just like that. So when that flower finishes, this flower starts. And then this is the one with a little bit of variegated color in there. And I'm just going to pop that quite low so you can sort of see into it. Maybe even a bit shorter actually. When I say variegated, I mean kind of like an ombre effect. So it sort of goes from green to red. There we go. So you can sort of see that, and I've thread that through the vase, sort of going that way, pointing that way. So you're sort of looking into that flower. So that's how it's going to look if you've got green Leucadendrons. If you've got red Leucadendrons, it'll look exactly the same, but these are the red Leucadendrons that you'll be using, that you might have. And I love both. They both have a color contrast to the eucalyptus and the thrip, but they're the reds if you've got the red Leucadendrons. Gorgeous. So once we've got our Leucadendrons in place, we're really happy with that. Then finishing touch is our focal flower, which is our trusty Banksia. First things first, let's just figure out how tall we want it. My stem in particular is quite tall, and I'm going to cut it down to size. I'm going to pop it into the vase around about there. So it's going to be sort of front center and also a little bit asymmetrical, a little bit off center and on a little bit of an angle. Be ruthless with your stems. I kind of like having a little bit of depth and sort of pushing that piece of eucalyptus gum back, sliding it in there, because I don't want my eucalyptus gum to be in front of the Banksia, because remember the Banksia is the focal flower. Then I'm just having a look at the foliage that's covering the Banksia, and I'm just going to snip that off at the front so you can actually see the Banksia, because I don't want the flower's own foliage to be hiding the flower. That's looking really lovely. Now we've got lots of leftover bits, and at Fig and Bloom, I don't know why, but we just started calling the leftover bits our friends. So let's find our friends. Let's get a little cluster of our friends together, and let's just finalize the vase arrangement with these little friends. They're just our helpers, basically. They're just kind of really good at finalizing a design. And I've got a bin just beside me here, and I just snip directly into the bin so it's not a big mess. So just grab your friends and finish off that vase arrangement. That eucalyptus is really bothering me. It's like right in the middle there, like taking all the focus. So I'm actually just going to chop it down to size. A little bit of your leftover eucalyptus could just go at the center front. So just in here. Beautiful. And I might just use that same technique by just trimming it where I want it to be. Not taking over too much. Just a nice little pop at the center front there, just to frame that focal flower, the Banksia.